All right, so let's look to see how we can create a model using sine and cosine from given data. Now, this is actually real life data. What I actually did is I went and looked up a tidal chart and used a rule of 12s to actually calculate high tide for the particular place I picked. I just picked whatever. Is going to be 4.8 feet above the chart datum. Means that you have a base level of how high the water is. This will be 4.8 feet above it. And low tide is 0.1 foot from the chart datum. So it's just slightly higher than the chart datum, but it's essentially the same thing. Now, the rule of 12 actually makes this a nice pretty little wave, and it gives you a good way to estimate high tides, low tides, and about where it is in between. So this is actually a tide for the 27th to 28th of this month. All right, so let's take a look at this. The first thing is I know I'm going to ask you to write an equation in terms of sine and cosine. So I'm setting this up. I know to do this, I need an A, the number in front. I need a B. I need my C, which is going to be here. So I know this is going to be X and this is going to be X. I need a D, the numbers that go right there. All right, so let's just think through this. My A is my max minus my min divided by 2, and that is my Y values. So I'm going to take my max, which is 4.8, minus my 0.1, and I'm going to divide it by 2. This gives me 4.7 divided by 2, which gives me 2.35. So that's my A. 2.35, 2.35. Done. All right, let's do my D. So I do my max plus my min divided by 2. It's my Y value. So it's going to be 4.8 plus 1 divided by 2 plus 0.1 gives me 4.9 over 2, which then gives me 2.45. So this becomes plus 2.45 plus 2.45. All right, B is based on period. Now here, you don't have a full period. You only have from max to min. So when you only have max to min, you know there's symmetry involved. You can just multiply it by 2. So I know my period is going to take, let's see, 6. So my period is 12. So I'm going to say 2 pi divided by my period, which is 12. And that's going to be my B. So my B is going to be pi over 6. So pi over 6, pi over 6. Easy enough. Now for the interesting one, my C. The C is the one you always have to think about. This is the more difficult one of what's actually going on. All right, so I'm going to draw what's actually happening here because it's a little confusing when you have a cosine wave that doesn't have a phase shift because our base wave is a sine wave. So here is what's actually going on. Here is 0. This middle point right here is 3. And this low point is your 6. Now, what we want to do is we want to think about the sine wave. But the sine wave starts in the middle of the wave, but it's increasing. If you look here, you want to say, hey, this is the middle of the wave, but it is decreasing. But in reality, you have to think, I actually took a sine wave and moved this and turned it into cosine. So my cosine would have started here, and I moved it in this direction 3 units. So I actually moved it minus 3. Because what will end up happening, you have this over here. This distance right here is what you moved, which is also minus 3. This would have been the start of the original sine wave. So this becomes minus a negative 3, which then becomes plus 3. Oh, that's on the cosine. What am I doing? This becomes the minus a negative 3, which then becomes a plus 3. And that is how you make the sine wave. So that you have to think a little bit more about. As far as how you're actually looking to get to this point, you went to a minus 3 direction, or you took cosine from its maximum, you moved it over to the y-axis, and that's in a minus 3 direction to actually give you your wave. Not terribly bad, just going to take a little bit of practice. Hi, I'm Mr. Buzzard, and these videos are supplemental instruction for my students. If you found the video enjoyable, make sure you click the like button and click subscribe, as well as the bell for notifications to receive future videos on high school mathematics.